Hi everybody, here again with a short explainer video. Been getting a lot of questions on how SPX, for the S&P 500 index options, differs from SPY and equity options. There are many important differences between these two, although in practice they do function similarly. First of all, SPX, or the standard index options, are classified as European options. A European option really has nothing to do with the geographical area. It has more to do with the cash settlement nature. And specifically, early exercise of European options is not allowed. On the other hand, SPY is an equity option, as it trades just like a stock option and not an index option, and it is an American option. This allows one to early exercise long puts or calls as this additional benefit of American options makes them more expensive relative to the European options. Another important characteristic of SPX versus SPY, or any index option versus any American equity option, is tax issues. Index options are classified as 1256 contracts by the Internal Revenue Service. This means that regardless of holding period, 60% of your gain will be short term and 40% will be taxed long term. On the other hand, American option gains are always all short term. This gives a slight advantage on other factors to European options for tax purposes. Standard European index options, like these SPX index options displayed before you, also settle in the morning of the day of expiration. Some brokers actually subtract one day from expiry to help avoid confusion. And to further confuse the matter, there are things as PM settled index options, but they must specifically be selected. The default is the AM. So this means that the Thursday, typically options settle on the Friday, or they expire on the Friday. So this means the Thursday evening is the last time you can trade the options, but it waits for the opening print Friday to get the final settlement price. This is in contrast to SPY options, which trade until the end of the trading day at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday. Also, there's a cash versus underlying settlement option. SPX options settle in cash. It's them great to use as an overlay on top of an existing portfolio. It also means that in certain cases, one may desire never to close the long or short contract, as there will be no need to do so, as it will settle in cash. However, SPY and equity options settle into the underlying. This has advantages and disadvantages, but nevertheless, particularly in the case of spreads, management during expiration will be required. If one sells index options over index correlated portfolio, you will just get the premium or any difference above during closing. Although I should clarify that you get the premium up front in all cases. But during closing, during the cash settlement process, any gains and losses will be taken from the cash balance portfolio, which may result in a negative balance. In the case of American options, like SPY, it is underlying settled, which means that you will be called away. If you have a long call and you take no action and it's in the money at expiration, you will buy underlying shares. You will not simply receive a cash payment. This may work well for some strategies, specifically those wanting to purchase shares lower by selling put options. Also, because of the early exercise nature of SPY and other American options, dividends and bankruptcies can lead to early exercise, among other issues. This cannot happen with index options, giving index options holders, or rather sellers, a little more certainty. And again, this is the price difference discussed earlier, as the long holder of an index option has less rights because they cannot exercise early. If there's any other questions or comments, please leave them down below, and I'll try to follow up with them in an additional explainer video. Thank you, and have a good day.